So thank you very much. I want to say congratulations to me, but also to staff, Carol, David, Danielle, support from the city. This is actually hard work, getting these types of dollars from the Knight Foundation. Just to give you a little background, Knight no longer funds. Their average grant now is roughly about, the average local grant is about $50,000. Nationally, they do about $250,000 in terms of their grants. So just understand the magnitude of getting that amount of support from Knight is a tremendous amount of work. So the $6 million grant and the 1.88 in program-related investment. I'll talk a little bit about this a little later, tell you exactly what that is, because this is a rarity that Knight would do something like this. So let me just describe what we're really trying to do in UPA so there's some clarity around it. When you really redevelop in the community, you have to have the two arms going at the same time. If you just have physical aspects going and you don't have the community side going along with it, you tend to miss the long-term potential stability for the community. So you think about Knight. Knight is all about civic engagement. Knight is also about transformative investments. So what we've tried to do is prepare a two-pronged strategy that combines the two together into an overall comprehensive perspective. So, the focus around programmatic activities, the grant will focus on board development, physical, economic development. So when you think about University Park, for example, 50 blocks, we made up of 8 of the 10 largest employers in Summit County. The partners of UPA, since 2006, have invested close to $2 billion in that footprint. So when you take the investments of the city of Akron, the university, SUMA, and some other partners, it's a pretty significant investment. And it's something that we actually use to build on to tell the story of University Park. So we think about the programmatic activities. The issues around community leadership, and we are not in a position to tell you guys what to do. We're hoping that, what's the old saying that John Kennedy had? Ask not what your country can do for you, kind of thing. Because it's not about UPA trying to do everything, but we do know if we're going to keep the type of momentum needed to accelerate the work, we need to continue to build this community leadership. Civic golf clubs, engaging more residents in activities. So when I tell you guys we get interest from other foundations interested in what you guys are doing, it's a very promising piece for us. Online communications, social service inventory, enhanced social media. In this day and age, if nobody knows about you, you're really not in the game, right? So it's all about trying to take the core of the city and target investment towards the core, stabilizing neighborhoods, while at the same time building transformative projects, right? So I would say to everybody that the Knight grant, not only was it a show of confidence, it's also a show of confidence for the community itself. So we think about this project for a minute. Let me just talk about this. This is, I'm not going to get into the details of the master plan, but we have a core city master plan that encompasses 3 districts: Exchange, Market, and Main Street. But the difference in our projects, they are not just real estate projects. So imagine this project right here. This is Exchange, this is Brown, the ball field's here. The idea with a project of this scale is to introduce multifamily housing into the community, just housing for regular individuals. Retail at the bottom, along to bring back some of the basic services in the community, which really doesn't exist because I live right here, somewhere over here, is where I basically live, and I have to go to Cuyahoga Falls every morning to get my Starbucks coffee and all that stuff. Really drives me crazy. Go back 1 second. Go back 1 second. So just imagine this for a minute, where this is a project owned by University Park, where the revenues from this project stays with us, because your traditional development model would be all the profits would go to a private individual or organization. This stays primarily with University Park. So imagine inserting incubation space, because in order for us to secure financing for something like this, we have to have a nonprofit mission. That mission would be things like inserting incubation space or whatever, to have something that furthers the mission of what we're trying to do. So if we can really hold this together, we're looking at late spring groundbreaking on this project. Working in tandem with the university, city support. When I talk about investments, you know, the city in particular, roughly $10 million in infrastructure around here. So it's up to us to try and capitalize on that and not let that investment go to waste. So this is Market Square Child Guidance, Family Services. Building has been under construction, but we're also in the process of a second building. Right now, it's about, here it is, it's about 60,000 square feet of office space. We are waiting patiently for a 25,000 square foot user to anchor this building, which we're seeking to bring more office users into University Park, against some retail establishments to sort of anchor this development. So this is where the Child Guidance building exists right now. This is where the second building will be located. We have some doctor's offices. We've got a couple of researchers looking here as well. So the projected time frame for this is spring this year. So we should have 2 projects back-to-back going, because this is not about, people say, Dr. Jones, just do one project. It doesn't send a message if you're just going to do one project. If you're going to try to galvanize the community and really jump-start it, you're going to need multiple pieces. So this should be spring, late spring of this year, University Square, right before our May luncheon, which is what, May 8th is the luncheon. I won't tell you who the guest speaker is, but we'll hold that for later. Again, this is about filling in the blanks around these anchor institutions to start to create a stable community. So I'll just take some questions, but the gist of the Knight grant is just not about the real estate. Oh, I'm sorry, go back to the slide with the PRI. I need to explain this. This 1.88 million, one of the hardest things in the world of redevelopment, you guys know at the city, is pre-development money. Pre-development money to pay for your architects, your engineers, all of that stuff. It's the toughest money to get. That's why a lot of projects don't get off the ground. So Knight really doesn't do this. This is not their forte. Knight is not a real estate foundation. So imagine this. It's 1.88 million. Go to the picture of University Square. Will be support to complete all what's called pre-development to get this project off the ground. And we get it back after the project's closed. $1 million of that goes towards what we call operating guarantees. So in order for University Park, which is a small staff, to pull off a project of this scale, the bond markets are going to ask for, do you have the ability to cover your operating guarantees? So that PRI investment will give us the ability to cover the operating guarantee. That is unheard of. So that's why it is really important that we're able to do that. The beauty of it, that is recycled. So once we do this one, that 1.8 goes back again, again, and again. So that's sort of the nature of what we're doing. And we don't show it on this block over here, but we actually work with the city to acquire a series of properties over there next to Spicer Village, where if everything holds, we'll have something come out of the ground probably late summer, early fall, depending on how it turns out. So I'll take questions, comments.